Hey guys, Jacob Kilmer here, and I'm going to be discussing my business continuity plan for the West Fairbanks Fred Meyer. So the West Fairbanks Fred Meyer, that's the one on Airport Way for those of you who don't know. And I'm going to discuss how I obtained the information for this plan first, and then some of the aspects of this business continuity plan. So the way I obtained the information for this was, first of all, I've worked there for 5 years, worked in several different departments, and I have experience with most of the software that's used in the store. I also did several interviews with the store director. That's the highest, like, manager person in the store. Like, above him is only corporate. And then I also asked general store managers who are like just below the store director for additional information and clarification. So I'm going to discuss the critical functions and the recovery time objectives for each of those. So the two critical functions are customer services and ordering and inventory control. So customer services would include checkout, merchandising, general customer assistance, like helping people find something, giving information about different products. And the recovery time objective on that would be 1 day, because like that is like the basis of the entire store. Like without the customer services, if people can't check out or like get a product off the shelf, there's no reason for the store to even be open. That's the whole way that a retail business makes money. And then the other critical function I had was ordering and inventory control. So that involves ordering new merchandise and keeping track of the inventory in stock. And the recovery time objective for that is 3 days. The reason that is 3 days is because after 3 days, almost everything in the store, not like food-wise, everything in the store food-wise will be completely sold out within 3 days. That's how little stock the store keeps, like, at a time. So the resource requirements to like for these critical functions to work include the primary server, which is like mainly used for the CAO system. The CAO system, by the way, is computer assisted ordering. So it basically like takes track of how much is sold during like a specific day, and it helps the manager order. If like something's about to go on sale, it'll say, do you want to order more of this, that sort of thing. It also manages the registers, so like it keeps track of items that are sold and going out and the money that the store makes. And then it also integrates the store computers and phones. So if someone's making like a price change or something, it'll integrate that between the computer from which you're making the price change to the actual register, so the price will change immediately as soon as you hit enter. And then it also integrates the store phones. Like the phones are used to communicate with each other, and then also to do like overhead pages and stuff like that. And it can also make calls outside the store. Checkout capabilities are also a required resource. That includes the cash registers, self-checkout machines, and customer service desk for returns. As far as human resources, it'd be about 400 employees work at the West Fairbanks Fred Meyer. Not all at the same time, obviously, but over the course of different shifts and 7 different days, we have about 400 employees. Continuing with resource and requirements, the CAO system, which I already mentioned, that includes the SPA guns, which is a scanner portable assistant. You may see employees walking around with a little hand scanner. It's shaped like a gun, so they call it a SPA gun. And then the receiving computer, which keeps track of inventory that's actually brought into the store. Forklifts are also required for moving freight within the warehouse and off of the delivery trucks. And then balers for plastic and cardboard, which essentially compresses all of the plastic and cardboard that comes through the store, puts it on a pallet, and we send it back for recycling purposes. So important software within the store would be the CAO software again, and that includes Windows Mobile and the SPA guns. EFT software, which is electronic funds transfer. that helps with like debit card and credit card payments and like the food stamp cards and everything like that. And then Windows XP, which is used to run the software on the self-checkout machines and cash registers. It's a little outdated, but it still gets some use. So the possible issues that like we would make a business continuity plan for would be like a power outage, earthquakes, and fire. So power outage, obviously, because we have refrigerators and freezers, if the power is out for more than 3 hours, everything that's in the refrigerators and freezers, both out on the floor and in the back, is trash. It's automatically has to be thrown out because it could go bad. Um, Also, the store will go completely pitch black. Like you won't be able to see your hand in front of your face. It's like being in a cave. Earthquakes are another obvious issue. The store was built to withstand up to a 6.0 with ease. However, things falling off the shelf, warehouse shelves like collapsing on themselves and things like that are a serious threat. And then fire is another obvious danger because if there's a fire, there's several exits to the store, but if you're in the center of the store, it's a good like 150 yards to an exit. So it's another dangerous thing. Um, so if there is a fire or an earthquake or a power outage even, we want to evacuate the store, and the primary goal of that is to get employees and customers to safety. This involves all levels of personnel, store managers who will call overhead for the evacuation, and the assistant store manager will call emergency services. Department managers and floor level employees will help to direct customers out of the store. And then once everybody's out of the store, department managers will take stock and make sure every single one of their employees that was on the clock has met at the designated safety area. The designated safety zones are for both employees and customers. So customers can go to any one of the designated safety zones. There's 6 of them that surround the store in a parking lot far away from the gas station and the store itself, so that if there's any danger of collapse within the store or an explosion from the gas station, people will be safe. And then the designated part is mainly for the department employees. So like each department has a designated area where they'll meet so that the manager can take stock and make sure, hey, everybody's here, they all made it out of the store, we're safe. The equipment to be removed in an evacuation, especially in a fire or an earthquake where severe damage could occur, would be the backup server, which is an entire backup of the primary server. It's kind of like a suitcase on wheels, and you just grab it and pull it out. It's only about 50 pounds. Just about anybody could pull it out. And then the file box, which is just sort of like one of those handheld briefcases, and it contains the file information on every employee in the store, plus ordering information and so on. Recovery of customer services. This gets into the actual business continuity plan. You make sure the power is online, possibly by starting the backup generators. You got to reset all of the software for the cash registers and self-checkout. You got to ensure the operation of refrigerators and freezers. Again, if these things are out for more than 3 hours, that's all trash. That's tens of thousands of merchandise lost. And then you work with your suppliers, which would be Linden Transport, who does all of the delivery services for Fred Meyer in Alaska. And then the Fred Meyer distribution warehouse down in Anchorage, you tell them, hey, the store's back online again, we need to start receiving freight again. And then you may possibly have to relocate the services to an alternate location. That would be Fred Meyer East. So we would move some of our capabilities like forklifts, like maybe a few self-checkout machines over to East to help with the increased customer flow. We would also move some employees over there so that we could keep them on the clock and still have them be helping out with like moving the additional customer load through the store. So recovering, ordering, and inventory control, and again, ensure power is available. That's super important for running computers. You got to restore the system from the backup server, which is the suitcase thing I mentioned earlier that can be moved around. Or additionally, if we do have internet connection, you can restore it from the corporate server that's backed up every single day. You got to reboot all of the mobile devices. That would be the spa guns and the phones that are connected to the servers. And if the system is completely unusable, you have to find an alternate method of ordering. So one method of that would be using Fred Meyer East's ordering system, and you note the alternate delivery location. So like you use Fred Meyer East and say this part of the order is going to the West Fairbanks Fred Meyer, and then we receive the freight despite not being able to order it ourselves. And then you can also use the paper inventory tracking sheets. Now that's a real pain because you have to, like, at the end of the day, go through the register logs and be like, okay, so we sold like 6 of these, 8 of these, and subtract it from the current inventory that's on file. So in conclusion, I learned a lot about business continuity plans from this project. I never thought I would make anything like this, so it was really interesting. I learned a lot about the store from this project. There was a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that I never thought about, like regarding the store, despite having worked there for 5 years. And it was also interesting to consider this store that I've worked at for 5 years from this different point of view. I'd never really considered emergencies other than the fact of, getting my department out of the store during an evacuation or something, because beyond that, like, there was no real need for me to think about it. So it was a cool way to think about it. All right, thanks guys. That's my business continuity presentation.